think La Rochelle are going to come to Belfast absolutely fully loaded. They're not going to be sending their B team. They're not going to just sit on their laurels after the resounding result against Northampton, where they had them well and truly beaten at half time. Ulster, when you go away from home, you get stuffed. You don't get off the bus. Your whole travel situation was a bit of a mess getting over there. What do you want the following week? You want a perfect week. You want no distractions. You want everything to run smoothly. You want to be able to go to your training ground. You want to be able to do your captain's run on the main pitch that you're going to play on. The last thing you need is the potential of the game being now a day later on a Sunday, which they would probably prefer because it gives them an extra day from last week. Instead of a 6-day turnaround, it'd be a 7-day turnaround. Or you play at the Aviva Stadium. And you play at the Aviva Stadium. Why? Because they've got underground heating, they've got heat lamps, they've got everything there. The only thing is you'd probably be playing, it would probably feel like playing behind closed doors, because I'm not sure that too many fans are going to completely mess up their Saturday afternoon on what they had in place to then jump in a car and travel 2 hours down to Dublin and in pretty icy conditions up here at the minute. So it's a bit all over the place, but we'll see how it pans out. Weather conditions do say that it is going to get warmer on Saturday evening. Is that going to be 12 hours too late? We'll wait and see. It is very much season defining, and Dan McFarlane has posed the question. I think after the result of the weekend, saying, has this been the most difficult period of your coaching career at Ulster? And he was like, probably one of the most challenging. And he obviously didn't say difficult because it's he's of course he's under pressure. All the lads are under pressure. The fans are starting to ask questions of we haven't been beaten like this in Europe since probably records go back, which is before 2012. So you're talking 10, 11 years here of never been beaten that badly in a European fixture. And it's all well and good when you play against a good Leinster team away from home. You're 15, 20 points up. There's yellow cards in the game. There's injuries. There's HIAs. Leinster obviously turned it around, played some brilliant rugby in the second half. And yes, Ulster did fold to a certain extent, but there are no excuses against Seal. Dwayne Vermeulen got yellow carded, granted. But in saying that, they didn't even fire a shot. They didn't fire a shot. And I think, Donny, everybody's talking about, and I've had numerous conversations this week about Ulster, about like everybody's blaming Johnny Bell, conceding 39 points, and he's been terrible over it. Gloucester, he didn't end his coaching career well there. Then he went to Worcester, then he went to Glasgow, and now he's back at Ulster. Like, I worked with him at Ulster. I'm not sure what his training methods are and if he's trying to reinvent the wheel or whatever. But the thing is, the glaringly obvious thing is that there was 0 on the scoreboard. That's not Johnny Bell's fault. That's the attacking coach's fault. Look at Harlequins in London. They concede 30 points every week, but yet they score 40. And they're still, churning out good results. They're still in the playoffs. They're winning the Gallagher Premiership last season, the season before. Like, nobody is asking questions of Dan Soper, the new attack coach. Nobody's asking questions of the skills coach. It's just Johnny Bell because they conceded 39 points away from home. And yes, they have conceded a good few more points this season at this period of the season than last year. 8, 9 games in we are? I think it's 60 or 70 points more conceded this year than last year. And that's fine. But you got to score points. If you're going to be in a game, you got to fire a shot. You got to come up with plays. The boys were just completely off the pace. And I think it's just all in all, coaches, players, travel, management. It was just one of those days that you want to put behind you and forget about it. But you can't, because it's going to have to be analysed. It's going to have to be reviewed. It's going to have to be some learnings taken out of it. And they're going to have to be the harsh reality, Donny, of actually calling people out individually on their own performances. As a collective, yes, they were poor. But individually, some of the players were way off it. Like, way off it. Physically, mentally, just not at the races. It's happened a few times previously in my career. Of course, you have bad days at the office. But one thing's for sure in this competition, that you can't back up a really bad performance with another one. And if Ulster If they get beaten this weekend, they're out. Simple as that. They're not making the playoff spots. He wasn't somebody who sat in meetings. He let the coaches do their jobs. Like, so he didn't get up and try and change things or interrupt when a coach was, talking through plays or talking through meetings. He would probably do that after the meetings or for training, on the way to training. Just give his little thoughts or what he thinks might work. But I think he just understands it. Like, he's not that long retired. A bit like Andy Farrell. Like, everybody's asking, why is Andy Farrell performing so well? Why is Ronan O'Gara? Like, these guys are only out of the game. What, 9 years, 8, 9 years, 10 years? They get it. They understand how the players are feeling. They understand how you can be up 1 minute and down the next, and that things aren't always going to go your way, and that players lose form, and that you have to make big decisions at certain times, and you have to leave people out, and you have to switch it up, and I just think Ronan gets that. And as a coach, I've never worked with him in his coaching capacity, but all you hear is that he makes players enjoy themselves. Like, the lads love playing for him. He gets the best out of them. He's obviously does a lot of homework on the opposition, and he will know that this weekend against Ulster, you're not going to have to play that much rugby to beat them and beat them well. And it's the physicality stakes. It's the huge size. It's gone after their scrum, which got decimated at the weekend. It's restricting their maul, which is something that they rely on so heavily. And if that doesn't work, they really struggle for options. Big Stuart McCluskey couldn't get into the game at the weekend either. Hume is struggling for form. Stockdale looks like he's injured yet again. Doak at scrum half isn't playing well. Billy Burns, the guy who's calling all the shots, he's not playing particularly well. So this is a team really low in confidence. And how do you beat a team low in confidence? You get absolutely drilled into them. You get stuck into them, batter them physically, keep running over the top of them. Those pick and go tries, really disheartening for the opposition. So, Rog knows that he's not going to have to go from east to west at the Kingspan Stadium on Saturday afternoon to get a result. It's about grinding it out and about grinding Ulster down. And he's a very astute man and coach, and I'm sure that that's the game plan they'll be trying to put into this Ulster game on Saturday night. Just call it how it is. Racing were absolutely abysmal. Like, they were a joke. Some of their maul defence it's something that I haven't even seen it under 16 schoolboy rugby in recent years. It was that bad. For Leinster to be able to run through them at will when it came to maul, they got the upper hand at scrum time. Finn Russell couldn't control the game, but park that, set that all aside. Leinster were so clinical. James Lowe, average enough match against Ulster, made a couple of wrong decisions. It only takes him 50 minutes, 60 minutes to get into his groove. He was brilliant once again. Gary Ringrose was unreal. Josh van der Fleer flying. One of the things with Leinster is, and I like what they did at the weekend, Jack Conan found himself on the bench once again. And they picked a very big pack. Jason Jenkins, Munster couldn't get the best out of him, but he's a big man, huge man. He's in the second row with James Ryan, who's also another big man. You put in your front row, your starting front row, Tag Furlong, looks like it's going to be Dan Sheehan and Porter. And then you just mix up the back row. Ryan Baird at 6, huge, usually plays in the second row. Josh van der Fleer, he's always the first name in the team sheet. And then Keelan Doris. And then all of a sudden you're going, geez, that pack could probably handle La Rochelle's pack in a final, and it could come May time. So it's very, very good coaching and thought on how they couldn't get over the line last year and how they might get over the line this year. And even springing somebody like Jack Conan off the bench, who's, again, yes, he's a big man, but it's just this feeling about Leinster that they're a well drilled side, very, very accurate. Johnny Sexton to come back in, really clinical with the ball, don't make too many mistakes. Discipline's usually very good, rock solid. And I fancy. Everybody always asks me, who do you fancy? And I think everybody says Leinster year in, year out. And then all of a sudden the narrative is starting to change a little bit because they got beaten by the Bulls last year, and then because they got beaten by La Rochelle. But just feels like they're on the right in the right direct, going in the right direction once again. So for me, Leinster are going to be really tough to beat this season. If they're putting in performances like that away from home, they're at the RDS this weekend against Gloucester. They should get that one done comfortably. So yeah, Leinster are going to be a tough team to beat, and I fancy them to go all the way this year.